Here we are with another Saturday Night Live Zoom. And what a day it is. June 1st. Today was Inga's birthday. She's in Florida. I don't know if she'll be joining us, but happy birthday, Inga. She's been always here, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
so,
staying up late at night.
Eh?
Staying up late at night. And,
yeah, now she doesn't have to stay up, and she's, I guess she's busy on her vacation. Let's start with turning on my, I don't know if I can.
I think we did it before.
Maybe I can do it from my phone. Let me see. I think I can do it from my phone. Phone generator, where are you? Frequency. Okay, I think I can.
Hey, Steve. How you going?
Hi, Ranjit. How are you?
Oh, mate, when I see you, I'm just inspired, mate. Thank you for being here. I said, when I see you, mate, I'm just so inspired. If I didn't see you, I'd be like, where are you? I'll be coming for you.
Oh, I'm doing good. Doing well.
Yeah.
A little tired, but okay. Did a lot of planting today.
Oh, yeah, the two. Yeah, I thought it was just your backyard planting, but it's 2 acres.
400 plants today.
Wow, man.
Oh, what do you do with it all? Sell it?
Nah, I donate it all. We donate most of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I sent 1,000 pounds down to the food bank myself last year. 950.
Wow. There's no shortage of foods. It's an illusion.
I grow way too much, but that's okay. That's my whole purpose was to donate it. So
awesome.
Take what I need and I just give the rest away.
Awesome.
And I don't need that much, especially now.
So
can we come and plant grapes or not?
No, it's all vegetables.
All vegetables.
All vegetables, no fruit. It's a very bad climate for fruit up here, unless you're really, you have to be doing it for years to really get good production. We just don't have a long enough summer.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
You maybe get some apples and stuff to grow, no?
Yeah, but to get everything established takes time.
Yeah. You'd be surprised what can grow when you use some of the new technologies that are around with ganses and so on and so forth. You'd be surprised what you can do. Anyway, let's have a moment of silence. I have my plasma ball, shooting out 432 hertz here. And if you can tap into that, and just feel the essence of those fields coming into your being and bringing some balance, some plasma love flowing. So we'll take a moment of silence and thank everybody for master fasting and being part of this group. And we continue to share that plasma love always flowing, because out there, my goodness gracious, if we don't be the change, I don't know who else will. So we will take the start and make it happen. And we elevate the souls to all beings in all the planets and all the realms and throughout all the universes. So we thank everybody, and let's keep digging, and let's see what we can accomplish on this planet that needs so much of our help. The stuff that's going on, it's like, am I watching a fiction movie sometimes when I'm seeing all the stuff and reading? And, it's just one thing after another, after another, and after another. So by every single soul taking that plunge to be the change, you're going to affect so many souls, because the field strength of love, plasma love, whatever you want to call it, is the highest. It's that of creation itself, and nothing can penetrate that and take it down. But what that field can do is infiltrate and bring balance to all the lower fields, and that's what this is all about. That's what MFS is all about. That's why, when you allow soul to take precedence and let it do its work in autopilot, it's by default going to put you in balance. It's so simple. There's no thought process. And, we see a lot of challenged minds always wanting to put so much thought and energy into how and who and where and when and why. And honestly, nobody knows. The beautiful thing is we do not have to know, because it does it in autopilot, and you can see the magic unfold over and over and over again with many, 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 many thousands of souls that have decided to allow the process to take its place and unfold. Nothing happens overnight, but as long as we, commit ourselves and devote ourselves to soul, because that's really all it is. Fasting is a spiritual, first and foremost, process. You'll find balance. It's just, it won't be on your time. It'll be on soul's time, because it knows exactly what to do and it'll work through your body, and it'll repair it all. A lot of us are impatient because we're in this fast-paced, instant gratification, which is an illusion world, and there's no such thing as that. And people run to stimulants and so on and so forth, because they believe that when you feel those jolts of that falsehood energy, they think that, and they believe that that's helping them. Meanwhile, it's doing the exact opposite. It's bringing you to imbalance. And we see the outcome of what's happening on this planet, right? Souls are suffering left, right, and center. They're in misery, pain, and suffering all over the place. The numbers now, it's like between 70, 80% of people are on some kind of pharmaceutical drug. And if we continue moving in that direction, to a chemical-based direction, there won't be any hope for this planet, because it'll bring total imbalance. Because when this is in balance, you see what we do to the planet Earth. We bring imbalance to the planet Earth. So when we bring balance here, automatically we will treat the Earth with love and respect, and we will be the caretakers of it, because that's all we are. We don't own anything. We're the caretakers here for so many years, whatever, and we're gone, and somebody else takes over in caretaking. We don't own anything. We're born naked, and we'll die naked with no thing. And so, the beauty is that post I made a while ago, how did it go again? I don't want to be in a world that needs protection. Something like that. I want to be in a world that, what was the exact saying? I can't remember. That doesn't need any protection, because that's the norm. Everybody knows that living in peace, balance, correct conduct, and living in harmony with nature and so on and so forth. You don't have to think anything outside of it, because that's where everybody's thought patterns are. And we live that way. There's no other warped thinking of imbalances to bring imbalances to our beautiful Mother Earth. But it's such a challenge and struggle that, so many people form groups and so on and so forth to protect the Earth, to protect the oceans, to protect the wildlife in the oceans and on Earth. Like, why do we need to do that? Because there's no imbalances. There's no balance within humanity as a race, as a whole, and we're all part of that problem. By us taking that plunge and being the change and trying to do our best to live in that balanced state, we're going to affect a lot of people. And that's why slowly but surely we see how the MFS group has been growing and growing and growing and growing. No matter how little people dwell into it and jump into it, we've seen people do it 2 years ago or more and then disappear and come back, because once they've tasted the nectar of God, you'll never forget that. And that's the beauty and a wonderful thing to see, because we'll only make changes when we're ready, not before. Sometimes, we'll plant the seed here and there and that, and they don't sprout for a while, and all of a sudden they start sprouting and we see the blossoms happening. And this is what it's all about. So who's jumping in? Ranjit, take the lead.
Yeah, I want to tell a story, which is a really cool story about being slow and steady. And when you finish the race, I don't know if many people here know about Cliff Young. He, I don't know if anyone knows about him, but anyway, he's an Australian. This is back in the 80s. He's a potato farmer.
Mm-hmm.
And he entered this ultra marathon race, and he is not a marathon runner. That was from Sydney to Melbourne. And he was running with all these other elite marathon runners, and he did not have a coach, did not train. He ran in his gumboots, and he was 61 at that time.
In those rubber boots?
Yep. had no idea what it was. All he said is, oh, well, I chased the cows, because he had to herd up the cows, and that's what he did every single day. So you can imagine how fit he was. Anyway, everyone disregarded him, media, the whole lot. They just said, oh, why are you running for? He goes, oh, well, I had 6 days off and I thought I'll enter it. But he did a lot of charity work. He used to do a lot of work for homeless people and things like that. Anyway, so he entered the race and he kept running, but what he didn't realise that you ran for 18 hours and he slept for 6. He didn't sleep. So when he started, he was way back and all the other runners were way ahead. And then as the people slept, he ran past them. And he did not know what he was doing, right? And he got to Melbourne and he broke the record by 12 hours.
What?
Right? Yep. You go watch him on YouTube if you want. His stuff's still there. I remember as a young girl, I was only about 13. I remember this. It was one of the biggest things of possibilities in the world. I never, ever forgot this. This guy is just amazing. He won $10,000 Australian, and he donated 5 lots of $2,000 to the other 5 people that came behind him. So he didn't even keep the money. Wow. He didn't even do it for money. If that's not plasma love always flowing, I don't know what it was. It's just, and you go listen to him and, listen to his interview and everything. I went back and listened to it and I went, oh, I get it. He was just 100% in the soul.
What was the distance?
About 850 kilometres.
Whoa.
I don't know what that is now. So it's a 2.5-hour flight from Sydney to Melbourne. So I don't know what's 850 kilometres in miles is. But yeah, go listen to it. Go pick up one of his YouTubes. And that's slow and steady. He did not stop running. And it's actually called the Cliff Young Shuffle. So he didn't run like a marathon runner. He shuffled every step, every single way, and got to his destination. Like every step, his way, no one else's way. And you can watch him, all he does is drink milk all the way through. Like he just goes, it's just an amazing gentleman. And you look at him, his physique is just incredible. Like for a 61-year-old, you know how you posted up that lady, I've forgotten her name, the 80-year-old, right? That stuff, like when you, like, and it just, brought me back to Master Fast, right? This stuff that we go on about, like, skin and bone, or, there's a stain on my tooth, or there's these little things that are just so minute that it plays with your mind. Like these other marathon runners, they got coached, they had sponsorship, they were programmed a mindset, and these ultra runners were trained. So what was the difference between this gentleman that never, ever, ever trained, ran in these gumboots? I think someone gave him shoes eventually, but, like reminds me of those African runners, marathon runners that always win. They just,
The Kenyans.
they get, Kenyans. They don't have any coaches. They don't have anything. All they have is spirit.
Yeah.
It's just a spirit, this force, and you just go, well, what is that? Well, we all have access to it. We all have access to it. It's just our blockages in our mind and our paradigms, like what you're saying, Judy. I just want everyone to go watch it because it's like, it is so inspiring. You just put in Cliff Young, ultra marathon run. I don't know. You'll find him, Cliff Young, or the shuffle, and you go listen to his interview.
Wow.
He's just amazing.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. What year was this in?
1983. It was early 80s.
So it's a while ago. Okay.
Yeah. Some might not have been born then, but I was around. Yeah, I remember. I actually remember. I recall it. I've been meaning to tell you that one, Gino, for ages because it's been sitting in the back of my mind. I thought I've got to go see if it's still on YouTube and the interview's still there and everything because it's just so inspiring. It's just you will see the plasma love, you will see the soul, you'll see the spirit, you see what we do. You see it's clear as day. When you're sort of in it, you don't see it like how you see it from a blocked mind.
Share it in the group.
Yeah, okay, I will. I'll put the video up on the face our group for sure. It's just incredible. But for me personally, I'm really cool. I think I'm day 99. What else? Yeah, food doesn't mean anything. It's not really in my realm. It's just an entity. It's a soul, has its own purpose here for whatever you want to engage it with. It's a beauty, it's a love. I enjoy looking at it. I pray. Anytime anyone eats, I automatically go into prayer before people eat it. So I have this telepathic relationship somehow. And so if I see food, I just pray. I just bless to say that person gets that nourishment, whatever energy field that comes through for them. Don't matter what food it is. I don't have any hang-ups if it's fruit or if it's, vegetables or if it's any of that. It is what it is. It goes through people's bodies and you become what that food is. If it's got good energy fields, it's good. You get the high energy fields. If you're eating, other obstructive foods, especially, animals, like they killed do you know about how they killed all these pigs and that because of some disease they've got in China?
Yeah.
And they slaughtered I don't know, 500,000 pigs.
Mm.
They actually showed it. It's really sad. You just go, well, people eat that, hey?
That's called severe imbalance. It's not sustainable. Eventually it's going to wipe, nature's going to have itself wipe out these weaknesses. It's just not sustainable. Being infected with all these drugs and so on, and these crammed quarters and being treated horribly, and it's not sustainable. And the outcome is what we see on this planet: people still killing and beating each other and whatever. Just treating the earth horribly. We need to be that change that we want to see. We can't continue to support this stuff. It's horrific. It's horrific when I watch the videos and stuff, how they're treating these animals and stuff. Is just, my goodness. A zoo? Nobody should ever go to a zoo. Why would you support that? Seeing these animals suffer in a cage, like, whoa, man.
Yeah.
Circuses and stuff that they're using animals, and then, of course, eating. That's another story. But it's enslaving these poor beings into things they're not meant to be enslaved for. They all have free will just like us, and they want to live just like us and be free just like us. So, we can make better choices. Back to the Kenyans, I was not long ago, I was reading something about some Kenyans were trying to keto diet. And, the Kenyan diet is mainly high carbohydrates, right? A lot of fruit and a lot of grains or whatever, a lot of high carbohydrates. And they're always winning. They went into this keto diet and they just flop. It's zapped. And there's no energy. And the high fat stuff. But anyway, people will gravitate to these things because, I can eat all this wonderful, delicious tasting fat and everything else, right? Because it gives them justification to eat all that stuff. And that's why it's popular. It has nothing to do with anything to do with your health or anything. It's very stimulating, very addictive, and that's why it's growing. Just like pharmaceutical industry, it's in line with that. It has nothing to do with health. Health is something that comes through the soul, and matter is not involved in that, as we understand now. You don't need the matter. The matter actually gets in the way. Remove the matter, and the health is restored. So simple. You know, but when
and you know, yeah, I was going to say the other thing I was going to had a realization about. We all know from our frontal brain is that fear only knows fear. So fear can only know fear. It can't know love. But however, love knows fear. Love knows the emotions of fear and the other emotions. I really felt that deep, and because you know how people, you know, everyone gets a bit stuck every now and then. Even I do. It's only because you're in fear. So when you're in fear, you can't see the other side. That's when you get stuck in that hole. And I feel that with the big pharma and that, they know that, right? Because they're smart, right? In ways, marketing and all that, especially marketing and that, they know that. And that's when people get trapped into that Lucifer intellect and man-made intellect, because they operate on fear, and that's how they keep drawing money from you and drawing your energy from you. They're stealers. They steal that from you. They don't give it back to you whatsoever. They're takers. And the fear only knows fear. I really felt, even though we know that intellectually, but when you feel it from the soul, it's a really different knowingness, Gino and everyone here. Like you really feel it. I think that's why when you come into these high expansive levels, Gino, like you know this, is that you had this deep compassion. And we understand that animals, you're right, if we help the animals, then they will not know fear. They know fear. And even plants know fear. If you give them fear, they feel it, and they don't know how to operate and be their blossom selves and blossom souls. So I think you're right. We're the change, because everywhere we go in our energetic field, we know the love. If we're in love and tapped in soul, then nothing else. Fear can either come with us or be destroyed itself. It's only got those two choices, because otherwise it will struggle between the two. I think between the two fields in some way. But for some reason, the soul knows in everyone that they want love. You will always be drawn to love. So you might as well. I just think you might as well surrender. Just give up and just go to love. Why struggle? Because you don't have to struggle. You can just pass it over. Nothing's going to happen to you if you fast or do anything in your life. Follow love. It's the only answer. That's what I've learned in my 48 years.
That's creation itself. We wouldn't be here without any love, right? This is how all creation is creating and continues to create. And that's a beautiful thing. Going back to when you feel people that are taking from you, any sense of a worry in this physical realm, best thing to do is cut them off physically, move away, and through the soul give to them, because that's what they're missing. But you don't have to stay in the physical realm and allow them to rob you there. You cut it off, move away, and give to their soul, because they just don't have the understanding yet of what the operations of creation itself. It cannot happen without the gift of giving. That's the first step. We're all here because of the gift of giving, the gift of giving love. Two people join in love, and 1 + 1 = 3 in biology. So we don't have to be fearful of all this stuff or anything, but we protect ourselves in the physical sense, but we need to move ourselves away, because these things happen for whatever reason. There's lessons. And you know, if we look in the mirror of truth, it's a reflection of ourselves of why these things happen. So we have to cut off and reflect on why this has happened in our lives, and send love. Just keep sending love to all these beings, and hopefully one day they wake up and they get to see, and some balance will be restored in them. Because no matter how far down the rabbit hole you go, there's always a chance for you to move out and go back to balance. Even the devil himself could choose to go back to balance. Isn't that amazing? That's his creation. So that's what I believe, because we were all given free will, and through that choice of free will, we can go any way we want. So if we go back to balance, towards balance, balance will have to be restored if we work with the laws that creation has set for that. We can't go to balance doing imbalanced things. Not gonna work. Not gonna work. And this is why, how do I put it? The whole thing about eating itself, the actual act of eating anything physical foods, whether it's animals or plants or whatever, is not an act going towards balance, because there's another life form involved, whether it being an animal, a plant, an insect, fungi, or whatever. There's another life form, and there's a soul attached to it, and we're interfering with their free will. We don't even want to get to it if
I mean,
they are here to experience that or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about.
with the plants, you're helping when you're eating fruits, you know, the seed.
Fruit is the least karmic if we allow the seed to continue. Yes, that's why it's the least obstructive. If you look at it just in the karmic view of things, that's why it's the least obstructive, because the seed carries on. And it's so clear, you know, to me when I look at it in that way. That's why it's the least obstructive. We're not cutting off the soul from continuing on, right, and carrying on. It's genetics, and that's the beauty of you know, eating fruit. But we know we're only going to go so far even with fruit. But it's out of all the foods, least obstructive by far. By far. You know, even from the greens, by far.
I think, yeah, and the fact that, you know, we are not growing our own food. We're so far away from the food that we're eating. I think that has an impact on us too, right? Yeah, we were talking yesterday, chatting, Oliver, that it's different when you're growing your own food. I mean, just watch
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You are fed by it. Just watching it. And medicine, your family has a farm, right? Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure, yeah, I mean, you know what we're talking about, and you're into fruits as well. Yeah.
Yeah, just, you know, go play outside in the dirt, plant some trees, plant some plants, and you'll see the feeling that you get. Tap into the energy of the soil, into the plants. And it's if you're depressed, you won't be depressed when you're playing with dirt and plants. It's impossible.
I know.
You know,
I mean, it would be nice for your mother because, you know,
she used to love planting flowers and
she
stuff.
still does,
Yeah.
but she's not doing it.
She's chosen not to do it.
Yeah, yeah, and she's
Once-
really sad, you know, and lonely. I mean,
She's stuck in the poor me syndrome state, right?
she would be very happy to grow stuff.
Happy birthday, Inga!
Happy birthday!
Can she hear us?
Happy birthday, Inga.
Maybe she can't hear us.
21 again.
But yeah, you know. Inga, can you hear us? Hello?
She's setting it up for this.
Hello?
Yeah, she's setting it up.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so I believe it makes a big difference to eat your own food and feel the energy. I mean, you love it before you eat it, and I feel it's very different. Even if it's vegetables.
whatever. What was that article I posted? I don't know if I posted MasterFest, but something about, I think it was Philippines or somewhere, that they can't graduate unless they plant 10 trees. Awesome. Connect with nature, man. Now we're talking. You know, everybody, you know, was it my children's grandfather used to say in Italian, if you don't plant a tree, you don't deserve to live. If you don't, you know, something like that, the saying goes. So, you know, you have to plant. You have to plant. And he had all kinds of fruit trees on his property, man. It was amazing. All kinds. Perfectly pruned and taken care of. It was amazing. Figs, apricots, peaches, pomegranates, persimmons. Oh, man, they had everything. Grapes, cherries. I don't even remember. Apples, pears. Lemons, tangerines. On one tree had 5 different pears. It was just awesome. The love he had for plants. It was just amazing. And then, you know, that other article was, if you want to live longer, you know, be a gardener. Be a gardener. It's the answers are in plain sight. We're in this physical realm to feel and touch the physical realm, right? So play with it. Play with it.
We watched not too long ago a video on YouTube, I think, of a guy who only ate his own food, either food that he grew or food that he picked from the trees.
From wild.
And he did that for like a whole year. He did not touch any other food. I mean, isn't that amazing?
It would be a bit of a challenge in some situations, but fast. It lets you into the realm of fasting.
You can dry some stuff, I guess, your own food, you know, and preserve it this way for the rest of the year. You know.
Can you hear me? Can I say something?
Jump in.
I saw an article on Facebook probably a year ago about a woman, and I don't know where she was living, but it was somewhere warm, and she was fully raw vegan, and I think ate almost exclusively her own food. And she had a very small garden, but obviously you can grow enough in a small garden to sustain yourself. And I think she was like in her 70s or 80s, and she looked like she was 45.
The black one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they can get the numbers, so they can't remember exactly. But the video, she had this little garden, and she was raw vegan and before that, she had been vegan for I don't know how many decades.
I spoke to her.
Amazing.
When was it? In 2004 or 5. Because there was some documentary that was supposed to happen and everything. And we were trying to get some people together. We wanted her to come on it. So I spoke to her for a half an hour. And at that time, I was doing the ocean-grown wheatgrass. And she goes, oh, and when I call it, I'm just drinking my wheatgrass. She's like, what a coincidence. It was funny, yeah. Yeah, she's still going strong. Her husband looks like her grandfather, right? Because he never chose to live that lifestyle. And it's awesome. Awesome.
And I think what stuck with me from that video, I mean, I don't remember how old she was or where she lived or any of the details, but all I remember is how radiant and glowing.
Annette Larkins, I believe.
Sorry?
Annette Larkins, I believe is her name. Yeah. She's awesome. She's in her 70s for sure now. Well into the 70s. She don't look a day older than 50. But yeah, you know, food is great. Raw foods are great, but you're only gonna get so far. You're only gonna get so far. In this day and age, where we're being bombarded on every level, air, water, you know, foods, frequencies, et cetera, stresses from everything else. If you're not living and maintaining a fasting lifestyle, you really don't have much of a chance in this realm anymore. You're going to be a statistic with some whatever disease they want to name for whatever imbalance you get. That's where we've come to that state in this planet right now. There's a few remote places that some people are still living, but they're even being influenced by all this way of living from most of humanity, because environment dictates outcome. The air, I don't think there's a square inch or square centimeter where everyone on the planet that has not been contaminated, because the air streams circulate the whole planet, the water circulating the whole planet, and it goes everywhere. Like the Roundup Ready, that wonderful stuff, I don't think there's any place on the planet you will not find traces of it. It's crazy. It's, people eating organic still have it in their systems. Why? Because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. We can...
All the bees have it.
Yeah.
They find it anywhere there are bees.
Exactly.
They've got, absolutely.
So,
We lost 7 hives. We lost all our hives over the winter.
oh,
We had 7 hives and they all died.
my goodness. Can you imagine? Like,
My hive was 3 years old. It was strong, and it right at the end of the winter, it just died off.
wow,
Crazy.
incredible.
But even the ones in the wild, they go into and find these colonies in the wild, and they're full of it too. They're just full of the glyphosate. So
Yeah, and people still...
there's no organic anywhere anymore.
Sorry?
There's no true organic anywhere anymore.
No, it's a fallacy.
Yeah.
It's a
I mean,
fallacy.
it's so polluted and it's in everything. It's in the soil. What they're spraying in the skies comes into the soil. It's just terrible.
There's a way to do it. With GANS materials inside greenhouses, you'd be able to do it. You'd be able to clean everything up. But it's never going to be the same. But it'll be good. We do the best we can. But just to think, there's people still buying this stuff and supporting. And it's as long as there's people purchasing and supporting, it's going to keep being kept being manufactured. Like in Canada, all these lawsuits that started happening in the US and they lost, right? In Canada, no, it's safe. What? Okay, sure. They're gonna see so many lawsuits, more lawsuits and more lawsuits, because these guys are so blind, and their pockets are being lined with who knows how much money to keep it going. They're gonna have to pay the price. It's gonna happen. The balance is gonna be restored. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be more and more and more lawsuits taking precedence with this stuff. It's not gonna go away. It's just sad that the original guys that sold it off, that ran off with $800 billion, where are they? That's where I would go after. I don't care about Bayer that purchased them. Bayer has their own stuff, but I'd go after the original guys. Never mind this corporate crap. Who's responsible for Agent Orange and all that? Anyway, let's talk about the good stuff. How do we solve it all? Well, we live a fasting lifestyle. We start using plasma science because we know plasma brings back balance. We know plasma will restore a GMO seed back to its original strain. We know that. The tests have been done. So we can decontaminate land with that science. We can help frequencies with that science, So you can nanomaterials and ganses and so on and so forth. If you're being bombarded with all kinds of frequencies, you can put these things all over the house to help restore balance in that area. There's many, many, many things you can do. So that's what we got to focus on, being the change, because there's a solution to all these problems that man created. There's always a way out. Inga says, hi, beautiful soul. Just quick hi. I don't have the best internet on the park. We'll watch replay when we come back to Ireland. Okay, send her a message. Happy birthday. I don't know if she can hear us. Can you hear us, Inga? Just say nod, yeah. I don't think she can.
If you type to her, she types back. Like if you chat to her, she seems to see that. Hey, you know what you're talking about before, Roundup and all that?
Mm-hmm.
In the body, if you, like, I know these things where people have taken mercury and they transmute it. There must be some component in something in every poison. There must be something good in it, because there has to be something good in something somewhere in everything, right? So if you like something happens to you and we've got Roundup in our cells, okay, fasting actually helps that anyway, doesn't it? Like, you know, if it cleans it in some way, you get rid of it. So, but I think even like I was thinking about teeth, right? The mercury fillings, because like you, Gino, when I was in the UK, we had grade school teeth, and I got about, I don't know, 5 or 6 fillings in my mouth. You know, like, well, I don't know why, but anyway. But I still got them. I actually haven't got rid of them, and I've been to the dentist and I've done all that, and been to the health dentist, and they said as soon as you move it, it goes through your bloodstream, blah blah blah. It goes, your teeth are fine. There's no reason. And then I've got into a little bit about mercury, and even in India or somewhere like that, some people even digest mercury for health reasons or something. I don't know. And I'm always thinking, well, I've got no issue. I feel really good. I mean, maybe it is doing something bad in my body. I don't know, but I actually don't believe it. Like I have this concept in my mind that, okay, things are what they are, and because I'm fasting, that the body will automatically the soul will do its thing. I trust the soul and that surrender so much. Like I trust it so damn much going through this process of MFS, it doesn't shake me. Like I trust and surrender, because I find when you go deeper into fasting or doing what we're doing, is that trust and surrender becomes more powerful than what it really is. Because I know when I started the fast last year, is the soul told me to trust and surrender. No one else did. I mean, you know, I probably heard it from your field somewhere, and, you know, it all comes in because I wanted it. But the trust and surrender is just so huge. I feel there is no worry. There's no concern. Maybe I'm a little, because I'm in a fasted state, I probably think this way, I don't know. But I just feel that everything is okay, because the other expansive feelings are so powerful that it can't sort of, if you tap into that, then you're all right. Like everything's okay. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's how I feel, even like with mercury and, you
Yeah.
know, Roundup and things like that. I just think, okay, it shouldn't be there. And I think we're moving towards a way where there is balance. And even though it's still seen in the matter world, for some reason, I think it can be transformed in some way, or transferred and transcended.
Yeah, some of these yogis,
Yeah.
these big mercury egg things that they feed with gold, and there's only a few things that it will take in. I can't remember. Sadhguru has one, and then the other guy, Yogi Raj, he had one, and cobra snake venom. That's the thing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
anyway, the body, as you said, when you're in that fasting state, your field strength goes way up there, and when you're in that high field strength, guess what? It feeds lower field strength and it balances them out. So whatever's in the body that's not supposed to be there, the body can purge it or transmutate it, or whatever word you want to use. It changes it, and that's why you'll see when you go through fast, if you go get blood tests or whatever, and you're fully loaded with whatever, it will start reducing over time after you continue to do more and more fasting. The body will clean it all up and bring it to balance, because fasting is the way for the body to find its balance. And of course, mental and emotional body, because that shoots up right in our face when we go on these fasts, especially the long ones where, you know, people have a challenge, big challenge, when these emotions come up and they blame it all on the fast. They're just not coming to the understanding of it's all part of the process to bring balance. You're going to allow it or you're going to stop it. choice is always yours, right? Your wish is your command. And it's a beautiful thing.
Mm.
But all this heavy metal stuff and everything that they're saying, you got to eat this, that, and the other thing to pull it out of your body. You're only going to go so far. You're only going to go so far with herbs until you get into the realm of fasting. Fasting will bring it all to balance eventually. Like I said, not on your time, on the soul's time, because in this realm, everything's slow motion and it takes the time it takes. And it doesn't matter how long. It doesn't matter because when you're living the lifestyle and loving it, who cares? You're enjoying every moment. You're playing with the trees and the plants and the birds and the bees and everything else. It doesn't matter about the time. You know, as when we mentioned in other times where you're outside as a kid playing, who thought about food? My parents had to call us 50 times before we had to go in to eat. Who's thinking about food? When we're into the plasma love flowing, we're being fed off of that, right? With the dirt and the plants and this and that and your friends. It's just, if we can all remember that time, some of the new generation don't even know what that is. They haven't played outside. But if you can tap into that realm of when we were growing up, man, oh man, just think about that. Do you ever remember being in sad time playing outside and miserable? It's impossible. Look at what's happening with people living in these, dense, populated places, cities, and so on and so forth. People are staying inside, artificial light, artificial dead, and they're miserable. They're eating crap, and it's just a cycle that they can't get out of. They feel they can't get out of. You just have to make a few changes here, there, and that. And you'd be surprised. Put some plants in your house. Go play outside once a week, if that's all you can do. Even once a month, if that's all you can do. But make it like a religion that you need to go play outside. Go for a hike, whatever. Touch the trees, hug the trees. Breathe in the fields of the trees. And you'll start seeing these depression states. They're illusion. They're created by Big Pharma to keep you as a customer for your life, right? And we don't want to fall in that trap. We're going to take charge of ourselves, be totally responsible, and bliss and happiness is right at your doorstep, and you don't even know it. All the answers are in plain sight, and that's the beauty. We can tap into them anytime we want, or we can tap into misery if that's what we choose, right? Look back at all times you got some news or something, and you got yourself in a horrific state. Why? Because of some information that was passed to you, and then you responded to it in that way that put you in that state. So you can turn it around and change it to a blissful, joyful state, right? We all go through that, and sometimes I catch myself in these stupid states, and then what am I doing? I don't need to be in that state, man. Go on and change it. Sometimes it gets difficult because there's whatever environments, trying to draw you down into those lower fields, but you can pull yourself up. Go outside nature. If you catch yourself in that, take a break, go outside nature. Hug a tree. Whatever. Play with
Hey, do you know, I reckon there's something that I do that might help other people is just before I just fall into dreamland, I will always say thank you and be in gratitude. And even every single morning, as soon as I put my feet on as soon as I get out of bed, I always say gratitude to my legs. It's automatic now. I don't force myself to do it. It just happens, right? It's got to think about it, or I've got to remember to do it, but gratitude is it's the 101 of soul, really, because as we all know, it magnifies through the fields and it sets you up for the day. Because sometimes people go, I've got to meditate, got to do this, and they've got to force themselves to do it. You know what I mean? They've got to find the time. They've got to sit down. They've got to, do what they've got to do. But if you forget, or, life takes over and things happen, those two things, just before you fall asleep and in the morning, as soon as you put your feet on the ground, because the fact that you actually have feet, there's some people don't have feet, but you have feet. And you can actually walk. Yeah, that's a gratitude in itself. That's the biggest, our bodies, I feel, is I never used to love my body, right? This time last year, I didn't love my body. And I thought I loved my body though, but I didn't love it. But this year, I truly, really love my body. So I love my toes and I love my ankles and I love my your knees and your hips and your ribs and everything that's in it. Like, I just think it's just a miracle. It's a whole miracle machine. Like, how blessed are we and how graced are we? It's beyond a joke. To me, it's like, it's beyond a joke. Like, we are just so blessed. There's nothing there. If you can get up and put your feet on the ground, man, you've got it. Wow. You've got it. Yeah, so gratitude. Yeah, I know everybody says, yeah, everyone knows it, but it's when you're in it. It's a different thing. It's a different thing when you really, really feel it. You know what I mean? Like, you feel it so much that you just go, oh my God, you're like you're walking on air sometimes. I don't know I know people get it, and I know I go on, but it's just simple little things that just really, it flips your day. Like, even if you don't meditate, don't do that. Just that thing, gratitude's just huge. Then you walk around and then you go, oh, you're grateful for the plant, you're grateful for the person. You're actually grateful if someone has a go at you because that's an opportunity for learning and teaching. Your gratitude is just expanded, and then people feel your gratitude anyway, so they can't say anything to you to tear you down. They can't hook you in, you know what I mean? Like, they can't get that thing in you, and you have the power. You're in the soul, so you have the power as soon as you're in gratitude. That soul's there.
Awesome. From user, attitude of gratitude. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a name, user?
Like, Steve, I've got to send you this. I'll put it in the Facebook group. There's these Australian beekeepers, and they came up with an invention that people can have their own backyard bees. And they're from northern New South Wales, so they're the hippie type, Anyway, and they invented something that's so simple. Like, I think it only costs people to buy them is so cheap, and you can have your bees. But I'm going to contact them because they're type of people that really like to help people like yourself, Steve. Like, they're right on that level, and they may have some information about what you're going through with your bees, and because otherwise you just keep buying beehives and they're just going to keep dying. Hey.
So all the bees completely died?
Yes, seven hives.
Wow. How many bees
Seven.
in one hive? How many bees in one hive?
10 to 20,000.
Wow.
Full healthy hive.
My goodness.
I have other bees too. I lost them all. I got mason bees, and there's a summer bee. All dead.
That's sad.
And I don't use a speck of anything here. Everything I grow is all pesticide free, and
Right.
but they go out,
Exactly.
My neighbor sprays his lawn. There's nothing I can do about it.
Exactly.
So
it's spread everywhere.
It's everywhere, and it's Roundup. Unfortunately, it's Roundup. That's all they use.
Spray the fields with plasma water. Put it everywhere.
Yeah, it was disheartening. It was heartbreaking, actually, to lose them.
Yeah.
They are amazing creatures. I sat there yesterday. You see them come flying into the hive, and they're so loaded down with pollen they can barely stay airborne. They crash, they roll. They're funny. They're funny, but they are such an amazing creature. It's all about the group. For them, it's about the greater good.
You're right.
Always, not the individual.
Yeah.
So much to learn from them.
Yeah.
So.
For the colony, for the collective, yeah.
Yeah.
So, man. My goodness. Ariel, how you doing? You're still up in those sunny side of Thailand.
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How's your face?
I just
How's the tooth?
Oh, my jaw is perfectly fine. It's amazing, really, how awesome it worked. Um,
Well, it's
you
a
know,
process.
between
You know?
yeah, right. I mean, my miracle body between the charcoal and clay mask, between the castor oil packs and the oil pulling with the essential oils and water, and just all the tools that everybody recommended. I did a combination of everything, and I'm feeling great now. Especially, I have some good news. I just got done talking to an organic fruit farm in Hawaii, and they have invited me for a 3-month work trade program
Wow.
starting at the end of October. So I'll be going there October 28th for about 3 months or more if I like it. And I'm just sitting on top of the world right now. I cannot believe this. They grow papaya, coconuts, bananas all year long. And it's an organic fruit farm, so there's no pesticides to worry about. They are off grid, they're completely solar, so that's really cool. And they even compost their own caca.
Mm-hmm.
So all the solid waste goes into a bin, and a year later it gets opened up and it gets put on the fruit trees. So I came here to Thailand to go all fruit, because I was just having such a hard time with eating as mucus free, low mucus as possible, with my fruit in
Mm-hmm.
between full master fasting. And so here in Thailand, I've gotten so spoiled with all of this awesome, ripe tropical fruit all the time. It's always available. And, I'm living the lifestyle, less is more. I'm eating maybe, 2 to 4 hours a day, maximum. And I am thriving on this. I have so much energy. I have never felt better. And I'm just so glad that I was finally able to get to this point. And just sitting here in Thailand, I'm wondering how can I continue this lifestyle? I really want to continue this, and I had all these opportunities coming at me. This organic farm in Hawaii. I also have a couple of friends who have a mango farm in Belize. I also have another friend who has a resort in the Philippines, and I've been invited there to, like as a work trade program as well. And so my goal now is to, for the next year or two, to travel around the world, going from different subtropical places and enjoying all the fruits and working outside in nature. And it's like all my dreams are coming true.
Awesome. Your wish is your command, right? So
Yeah, right. You always say that.
Ariel, keep Queensland in there. Come down under. There's so much tropical fruit here and farms and all sorts of things that you can just work for free and live, and oh, that's great. That is so great.
Isn't it? Okay. I didn't know that there were any opportunities in Australia, because I would love to come and visit for sure. I'm sure there's probably opportunities all over the place for anyone else who's interested. There are several websites online, actually, where you can just go and you can do a search of whatever country you want to go to. And there are fruit farms and other types of farms, agricultural programs all over the world who are posting opportunities for people to go and do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
See, when you got these energy blockages, what happens, nothing can move. And you get what people call infections, where they're actually outfections. The body's trying to push it out. And what all the comments you got? Treatments, fear, 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 fear. Move all that aside, put it in the recycle bin, because we've already been there. We have the new understanding now. Take charge and let the body do what it has to do, get the energy to flow again, and it's done. It's that simple. You don't need to be in that fear state anymore. That's bullshit. We've all been down those roads. You know, it's sad to see that, you know, people are posting all this stuff because they're just totally ignorant and they want to choose to stay in that ignorance. They don't want to read. They don't want to watch videos. They just want to keep pushing play from the from the recordings that have been programmed in them, right? Just push play over and over and over. And that's the outcome. So you have to see through all that and be strong. You know, it gets kind of, I don't know, it's tiring. I've been at this 3 decades. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It continues and it continues and it continues. So when you have when you're in a position where you raise your field strength, you see through it all, and it's nonsense. It just doesn't affect you, right? Just move on, and the outcome is the way you're feeling now. It's a beautiful thing. So you know, this is a beautiful that you shared that, and you know, and so you can inspire people that there's no need to be in that fear state. No fear, no need. You can choose it if you want, but we don't want any part of it.
Exactly. And, you know, you're such a great reminder, Gino, because, you know, I still have that programming and I still have those patterns, and you're always this island, you're this rock for us. And, you know, you keep bringing us back to what we already know, what you already teach. And it's a beautiful thing. I was so glad that, you know, with all that stuff that everybody's saying, you are this rock for me. And I have so much gratitude for that. I had people telling me to join this group all about jaw infection and stuff. And I refused. I had more than one person telling me, join this group. No, because I'm going to go in that group and it's going to be a group of scared people who want to make me scared. I'm staying here in the Master Fast System group because I know that all the answers are within, and I'm going to do this, and I've let everybody know.
This is plasma love always flowing. It's awesome. Thank you for sharing and, you know, and believing in yourself, because I have nothing to do with it. You know, these programs, they run through me continuously. But what am I going to do? We can keep hitting delete, but like I explained, a hard drive, you can reformat, but the information is always there. It just goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's harder to access it, but it's always there. So these, you know, bullcrap, the intellect, Luciferic thoughts, they're always there. They don't go away, you know, because sometimes you're tapping into other people's of these negative fields, right? Even if they're not even yours, because we're all one, right? So we just have to be strong and not let the fear take us over, the false evidence appearing real. You're going to die. It's going to go to your brain and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay.
Did you end up doing a long drive?
Yes, I did. I did drive for 3 days. Definitely one of my longer drives. Not my longest, but yeah, I went 72 hours dry. And after that, I was also very careful to avoid any fats whatsoever. No coconut meat, no durian, no avocado. And especially, so that really.
Yeah, especially when you have any of these, I call them infections. The body's fats in bad news. in that state, you know. What is in Arnold Ehret's book, if you read, if you have any problem with teeth, stop eating. You know, any problem, any pain anywhere really, but especially the teeth, which where we're putting the food through, the body's telling you, stop eating. And then what do people do? Well, my body's missing this, and it's missing that, and it's missing this, and it's missing that. Answers are in plain sight. They're so clear to me that that's why I could remain in that place and keep repeating myself, because I've seen them over and over and over. The miracles have happened so many times. People still try and convince me that we're wrong. When the miracles keep happening over and over, when people choose to let go of that crap that we've been programmed with and continue and trust in soul and watch the magic unfold every time, every time. You know, if we look at the amazing reminders of Michelle Gibson, Myron, Kelly Kibbe, you know, and several others, amazing where they came from and where they are now. And we're looking at these little stupid little things, problems, and challenges we have. We have gone through nothing. My 2 years in being bedridden was a plane in the park compared to what these people have gone through. You know, I find myself fortunate that I have to go through what they went through. You know?
And they took their time, right? Like they have been doing it for a while. They're not giving up.
No.
Yeah.
What's there to give up?
I mean, Michelle did at least 208, right? And she's living on Master Fast Hybrid. And Marine is living on full Master Fast. And Kelly Kebby is back and forth, you know, and when she eats very clean, you know, most of the time. Yeah.
It's just awesome. Awesome. And like I say, even if we had none of these examples, I'm going to tell you, I already know it's possible because the answers are in plain sight from my little experiences. You know, it's just tap into soul. Tap into soul. Everything, that's where everything happens. Your physical body is here because of soul. Through source, of course, right? But it's through your soul is how we are here, how this has been manifested. And it's just awesome.
Yeah, prayer as well and meditation to take a break and connect.
Yeah.
And fasting makes it only stronger.
Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself.
For sure, you gotta, I mean, when you are spiritual enough, I believe you will respect your body. You respect everything.
We're all gonna fall.
Right? I mean, and if we don't, it's because we, you know, we can use more connection to God, you know? And as we connect more, we will respect ourselves more, we respect other people, whatever comes through. Everything we're responsible for. Our mouth, our eyes, everything we're doing, everything we're thinking, we are responsible for. And as we connect more and more, I believe, you know, we come closer to God, for sure. We become closer to perfection and happiness and yeah, and love and giving and just, yeah, being the best people we can ever be.
It's awesome. As I was saying, you know, we're all gonna fall. Big deal. It's all part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, be careful, and especially when you do long digestive vacations. But you know, right now we're not suggesting anybody do long digestive vacations from the feedback we've gotten. Most people are just not ready. So it's better to take your time and take it slow. Do a few weeks, up to 40 days maybe, but have that plan on which level you want to be.
Before you fast.
Yeah, which level you want to be
like,
living on
like
after
lifestyle.
your, you know, long digestive vacation, which anywhere from 1 week to 6 weeks. 6 weeks is 40 days.
And the lifestyle is basically you choose 1 day a week, up to 7 days a week of fasting, and then eating the rest of the time. And if you do, like, yeah, I mean, if you feel like you cannot do 1 week of fasting, then do at least 1 day a week of fasting, you know, start somewhere. And when you eat, you know, minimize the time of eating, the feeding window, and eat cleaner. Train your body. You know, it takes time.
Yeah, pretty much anybody should be able to do a couple days a week, 1 day dry, 1 day liquid, and, you know, eating 5 days a week as a start. If you can't do that, okay, start on 1 day a week. Start somewhere, but if you can't do 1 day a week, I really don't know.
Even like liquid, right? Like liquid, master fast, yeah, 1 day a week.
I don't know, you know, especially if you're in a challenged state, and how you're going to change things through continuously eating 7 days a week. We've been there, we've done that, and things are very, very slow through the cycle of eating, and you're only going to plateau very quickly. So, you know, this is the MFS lifestyle. It's not for everybody. We know that. And
But
it's
it is a
okay,
lifestyle.
but it is the lifestyle, and that's what we've been sharing since day one. But most people,
I
for
mean,
some reason,
yeah, I mean, it's not
misinterpreted
easy.
it.
I totally understand. It's not easy. So, you know, you don't have to just don't do a long fast, because most people are not ready for it. And even if you think you are, we find that many of us are not. So,
Well,
you know.
because all the emotions start coming up, and that's where all the
Well, it
challenges.
starts coming up, especially
The
when you
seed.
start eating. You know, that's the worst part.
The seed is what most people are not ready to face and deal with that. And you know, there's so much going on in all the environments and
Yeah,
so on and so forth.
it's an amazing transformation, but it can be too fast. So, and we are not ready for it. So take your time, you know, take your time. Do, if you want, do 40 days, you will feel it. Do 40 days and then do, let's say, 3 days a week. And then maybe every season change, go for a long one. Or every, you know, every spring, every fall, go for a long fast. And then in between, train your body to eat clean.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're ready, go for 7 days a week, but this is a lifestyle. So if you want to do forever liquidarian, please do. Nobody's saying no, but just remember, it's a liquidarian lifestyle. And so it means if you go back to eating, you're not gonna feel good. So it's better not to start if you want to go back to eating. But if you want to go for 7 days a week, please. I mean, we support everybody. But you have to know what you want before you do it.
All the realms are available for whatever you choose. And if you're gonna rant and rave, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for you.
Doing it.
Don't talk to somebody who's been doing it for 3 decades and tell it's not sustainable, because that's your reality, not mine.
No, you're both so right. So right. I actually had a look at one of my videos from, I didn't realize how many videos I posted up on your page. I thought, oh, I must have been crazy. But I really wanted it. I think even Ariel remembers me from the beginning. And I had a look at one of my videos in September last year, because when I started on 26th of August. And you don't realize how much your physical form changes, Gino. And here I am doing these videos, and I'm going through my journey about whatever emotion I had and this and that. And my face is so puffed up. Like, I'm going, oh my God, I forgot I was 80 kilos. And I forgot what that felt like. And you could see you actually see your soul changing. Like, you see this emotional change, like this. I was not empowered. Oh, I thought I was empowered, but I was not empowered. And I felt this shy child in me. And you don't recognize yourself sometimes. You think, who's that? That wasn't me, really. But it was really you. But one thing I love so much, and I want to echo what Ariel said, is that Gino and Rana, you create a space for everyone, no matter who they are, where they're at. It's such an organic journey for everybody, wherever they want to go. Like, you know, that in itself, like, how can you change somebody in a year? You know, I came to your page in June last year. Okay, I was a seeker, like most people. I was searching. And the only thing I was really searching for was God, right? At the end of the day, that's what I searched, to be close and have that intimate relationship with God. Hasn't got really to do with much anything else, because God's got it all sorted, right? The Creator's got it all sorted. I knew that, you know, because we've all had those, you know, experiences through our life where we've been tapped in, and then we get tapped out, and we don't know why we get tapped out. We know that society and the pressures that they put on us is what taps us out completely. We know we get caught up in the spiral outward, but we just don't know how to stay inward. And I was just looking at myself, and I was thinking, all I wanted was a space where there's support, where there's love. I can be who I want to be, you know, and there is no other group that does this. Like, I actually had another look at another group. I was thinking, what if they kind of, not that I want to move, I'll never move, but I'm thinking there's no way in the world you can have this, because it's just so real, like it's from God, like it's from what you've created is from that realm. And you can see with these other groups, they're stuck in the legal thing, right? You can see the way they talk and say things, and someone does a 5-day fast, and it's great that they've done a 5-day fast, but they go back to eating again. Like it just doesn't sustain it. Like I want to grab them and put them here, like come here, because it's a lot easier for me anyway. But yeah, no, you can have whatever you want. Like you can do shorter ones to 40 days. You can just do a hybrid. There's options and choices for the organic growth into this world. It's when you start doing the dry fasting, and you make that part of how you do things. That's when the dry fasting is just really powerful in the way you've designed it to clean out the GI tract, and then dry fast and have that big squeeze at the end of the month. You just surrender to that for 30 days or 40 days, get yourself to that. And then you're in the dry fasting world, far out, man. It just takes you to another realm. It just takes you there. It's just amazing. But hey, Ryan, I've got a question for you. But when I finish this long fast at the 31st of August, I'm going liquid, right? So I'm going to go into the liquid. Now, I can have any pasteurized juices, can't I? Like, because, I'm so lazy now that I don't even want to do anything with, I don't have to, right? So I can go have pineapple juice and apple juice pasteurized, and I can go have tomato juice. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
You can even
have why not?
a little bit of pineapple juice now, right? I mean,
well, you can mix it in, you can do whatever. But when you're in the mode of wanting to really get that deep purge, this is the juices we use. If you want to slow things down, we go to it. But when you start living and loving and continue on that 7 days a week as liquid, choose any of the juices you want and have fun. Of course, you're living and loving it. It's whatever. The whole season change thing, where we do the really longer squeezes in the dry, talking back about what other people are doing in groups and all that. People are looking for shortcuts all the time. They think they're going to do these long dries and go back to their, they're going to get all these results and go back to their old ways of eating.
And in general, every human being is looking for a shortcut. Of course. Because it's too much. We're impatient.
I have not seen it in 3 decades. I haven't seen any shortcuts. The shortest cut is live a fasting lifestyle for the rest of your life.
I mean, even if it means eating 5 or 6 days a week, but have fasting part of your life.
Yeah, so every day you're doing so many hours, every week, every month, and then every season change, and continue that dry schedule always, no matter what you're dwelling in whatever level you are. That dry stays the same always, and you're expanding on it little by little by little over the months and years, but that systematic schedule doesn't change whether you're in the liquids or whether you're in the eating. We're continuing that, and we're dwelling back and forth in the liquids on and off as much as we want or as little as we want. So the possibilities are really infinite, and anybody can make it work for them. But will anybody choose? That's another story. It doesn't matter. It's not for everybody. But anybody can make it work for them, and they will only benefit if they have a fasting lifestyle. MFS just has a wonderful structure, so it's so easy to follow in any way you choose. No matter how much you want to push that gas pedal to the metal, or midway or back right off, we have those options all available. They were always there, but what we're noticing, we have to spell it out in more and more detail because people are just not comprehending that. That's what we're noticing, as time has been moving on. We've always adjusted because I'm going, how come people don't get it? It's all there, but they don't see it. So spell it out, and then same thing. Okay, well, now we're spelling it out again. We've changed it again because they're just not seeing what is already there. The answers are in plain sight.
Yeah, the thing about the master fast, I see it as a smart fast because it's designed to help you release. So you're not gonna feel you're not gonna feel very bad unless you're extremely toxic. Actually, it's very easy. It's easy, the easiest fast of I have done raw juice fast before. 100 days before I learned about Master Fast, it had no power. It had absolutely no power. So, I mean, it's good to have a structure. It's good to have somebody who has so much experience to tell you what to do, and I mean, and then feel it. When I did the Master Fast, I felt like the first one, the 108 days, I felt like I was in heaven. I felt like towards day 70, 80, I felt like I was dreaming. I mean, it's crazy. And then I remember I go to sleep and I wake up. I'm like, okay, I'm not dreaming. This is true. I feel amazing. I turned very small, you know, it was a long fast, but I mean, I was, you know, I was not very big, you know, to start with. And so I became extremely small, and I was doing, I think, was I pushing the dry? I don't know, at the beginning. So yeah, so I became very small, and that was a little bit, you know, negative feedback. Not only people judging me, but also judging myself. So do it slowly, you know, do it slowly. Take your time. Just have a plan for yourself, how you want to live, and make it part of your lifestyle.
You know, the exception, there's a few cases out there that are in really severe imbalanced state. And if they truly want to live, we can guide you. But you have to commit and devote to your soul. You know, you're going to have to more than likely go on, you know, a few months of digestive vacation and really, really be focused on what level you're going to come out of that. Never ever go back to more than 5 days a week eating after you do a long digestive vacation. But these are going to be the few of the few who really, you know, like Martin was one of them, and he never chose to eat again. But, you know, these are people that he's telling me, I'm not going back to eating. You know, at first people tell you that, you don't believe him, but he's doing it. He's in his, you know, coming up to his third year soon.
I think he did already.
2.5 years, probably have 2.5 years by now for sure. But you know, so many people have told me that, you know, or I got to do this, and nobody pulls through with it. So most of that information is just, yeah, okay, whatever. Just focus on today. Focus on today, because that's all we need to focus on. And little by little, we see where we're going to go. But be clear on how you want to live the lifestyle. That's really going to be the theme now. How do you want to live this lifestyle? How many days a week are going to be enough for you of eating? We've been eating for decades. How many more decades do you need 7 days a week eating? Because if that's what you need, MFS is not for you.
And honestly, guys, the best thing is when you get into this lifestyle of eating and fasting, you will learn more than when you just do a long fast. You will learn much more, in my opinion. I mean, you will experience different things when you're going for a long fast, but you will learn the difference between eating and fasting when you have it like this every week, fasting, eating. You will understand the difference. You will really appreciate. I'm sure you will appreciate fasting more than eating, but you want to continue doing that so you can understand the process. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's just amazing to be able to have what's been presented now so clearly and so structured, and just looking back at how many years of trial, errors, and challenges and struggles, and my goodness gracious, you guys got it easy. It's because it works. If you work the system, it works every time. So
the body's happy when it's fasting on the master fast. That's for sure, compared to other fasts.
Like you're talking about the different juices, Ranjit. I don't get sick of grape juice. I don't get sick of it. Every once in a while, I'll buy some.
Same here, Gina. I absolutely love the grape juice, and then I'll go, maybe go mix it with something.
Yeah.
Then I go, and I do that. Then I go, but I prefer the grape juice on its own.
Right.
And I actually was, the other thing too. When I first started, I was buying the really expensive grape juice, and then I thought, no, I'll go try the cheaper ones, because I know I've heard what you said, and you know what? I love the cheaper ones. Like I'm going.
That's what I buy.
Actually, I love his more. He buys the cheaper one.
I just ordered 12 cases of Welch's.
Like this thing, you know, like it's different. Mine is more pure than the Welch's, right?
It does. You see, this is where we're tapping into higher order, and this is where most people miss the boat. It's got to be organic. It's got to be glass. Okay, for you, it needs to be. Not for me. I'm sorry. I've moved past that. I have the new understanding of where we're going. We don't want a juice that's completely toxic or whatever, but we do the best we can. We don't worry about it, because when you're in a purging state, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, Russia doesn't have anything toxic, but it's
Well, you're gonna find traces of whatever in there because it's inorganic too.
yeah, but also, I mean, the only ingredients is it's concentrate, right? From concentrate.
It's from
plus-
concentrate and juice. It's
Plus
mixed
water.
both up here in Canada. In the States, they have different versions of it and
Yeah,
everything.
but I mean, plus water, and that's the part that I'm not sure.
Well, but to reconstitute the concentrate, they have to add water, and then they pasteurize. That's the key. As long as you do it at the correct ratios, where it's close to where it came from, it's fine. We don't want to dilute any more than that. I found Costco has the best price and is top quality. Yeah, I was getting it from Costco for a while up here, and then they changed it. I don't know if they still have it. I haven't been there for a while. Yeah, the Kirtland brand. Yeah.
Have you had the prune yet? Has anyone had the prune juice? I want to get it just to try it.
It's strong.
Very
Yeah.
strong. I have it sitting there. It's been there for like what?
Like even the cherry. For some people, the cherry it just purges, puts them in purge mode. I drink the cherry just like the grape. For me, it's not. It's slightly stronger, but not like what it would do
The
for most
cherry
people.
for me is diarrhea.
Yeah, even the prune, I'd have to have a lot more than most people to give me a purge from the prune. But it is definitely a lot stronger, the prune. And look at the colors. We're looking at the colors. The brown's going closer to the black. But the reds are powerful. The purple's powerful. The blue's powerful. All these dark colors are powerful. The red, and we can dwell in any of those realms that we choose. They all work. But if you do go into the lighter juices, the pineapples, they have some power when in the pasteurized state, but you'll see they're not as powerful as the dark.
They're powerful.
They're just not.
Yeah, there's something about the grape, especially. I mean, all the dark ones. Cranberry is very strong. Have you guys tried cranberry? It's very strong.
Yeah, I've had it on its own. Yeah, it is very strong.
You feel the pull, right? It's
Yeah.
very stringent.
But even the pomegranate strong.
Pomegranate is strong, but it's not as tasty. I don't know.
Everybody has different
Yeah.
tastes, but some people don't like grape. I'm going, is that possible? I don't know, man.
It's because the taste, because it must be the film on the tongue. I don't know, because I remember when I started the grape, and that's probably why I got the organic one or whatever. I don't know why, but I found the cheaper one harder to drink than the most expensive one.
Right.
So the expensive one I was able to tolerate, even though it was sweeter. But then now, because your body adapts, doesn't it, Rana? Yeah, you change. Yeah, and then you just go, well.
Once you get into that cleaner plasma vacuum tube, what starts happening? Guess what? You're not tapping into the physicality.
No.
You're tapping into the soul. That's what we're talking about. How do we get that understanding through? Keep fasting. Keep fasting. We've seen a lot of people go through stages where they couldn't even stand the taste of the grape. No, I can't drink it no more. It's too sweet, blah, blah. And then a week or 2 or 3 goes by and then they're fine again. Because there was something that was trying to move and purge out, and there was a resistance for them to release that caca. That's all it is. And the taste of the juice changes. The taste of the juice never changed. It's the resistance to let go is what made the taste of the juice change. It's just like if you've ever went through an experience in your past, drinking all night some kind of booze, puked your brains out, and then you never want to even smell that booze anymore. It's a similar thing, right? Because there's that emotion attached to it, and that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Everybody looks at the physical aspect. I get caught in it too because we're just we've been programmed. Yeah. I always try and put myself in the realm of the fields. What's happening on the field side of things? That's anytime I catch myself looking at the matter state of things, like when people were posting about aerial stuff, matter, addition, and I'm going, okay, what's going on? Because you have to pull yourself out of that, because it draws you in, because we've been programmed from that, right? It draws you in. It's that program is strong. So you have to really raise your fields and go, okay, wait a minute, what's happening on the in the higher order of things? And then it comes really clear. Answers are in plain sight. Ariel, you got this beat. Don't listen to this crap. Is what I really was trying to say, right? You know, well, she take off for a while, huh? So you know, it's just amazing. Like, people start getting into that weird fear and fullness, and then people are instilling more and more fear, and then people get drawn more into that fear. And I'm going, what? You know, and then I'm deleting some of these posts, and what are we focused on? We're focused on master fasting. We're focused on the higher order of things. And really, that's the theme of the group. And like I kept saying over and over, we're just here to give you the information with the straightest line possible to get you to where you want to go. You may not like the information, but it's the information that's going to help you the most. And that's all we're here for. We're not sugarcoating and all that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for the gift of the gab things. I'm not a writer. I'm not a talker. But the information is correct to help you as the best way we possibly can, because all my heart is into it. And if you haven't noticed, I've been here for 4 years. If you think we're doing this for any other reason, I don't know, man. I'm here. You know. But you know, it's interesting when you start catching yourself and putting the focus into the realm of the spirit more and more and more, and you'll get more and more of the answers. And I see Ranji, you're just spewing out, because you know you're on the second one in a short period of time, and you're going very, very deep. It's impossible not to. And these realms become accessible to you, and the answers are all there. And you're going, wow, how does it get any better? Yeah, of course. Just keep digging.
Yeah, you keep going deep. That's why I'm hanging out to jump in the cold water at the end of this 3-day dry. It's just too deep. But there's a big responsibility in it, you know. There's a huge, when you give an information, like I know you have, like what you've done, that this information that you're given, you're like, you're on notice sort of thing. I feel like you're kind of like, you've got no way else to go but to go deeper. There is no other way, because if you go back the other way, then like it's like, you know, you can't. That's why this pull that comes through. It was Sol that told me to do 180 days after the 108, right? And even though I thought to myself, oh, this is crazy. This is really, really crazy. I couldn't say no. It's like you can't say no. Like, what do you do with that? You got to go. Hey, on the train.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, when we started sharing all the other levels in the dry fasting that we got bashed. I ain't dry fasting. Yeah. Bullshit. We're getting more results than anybody else out there. Why? Because we understand the structure and the higher order of it, and the spirit side of things. We're working on accessing that, not the physical, where everybody else is focusing on the addition of things. You're missing this nutrient, you're missing that nutrient, you're missing this fat, you're missing that amino acid, blah, 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 blah. Verbal diarrhea. Go into soul, understand, focus on cleaning that plasma vacuum tube, and watch the magic unfold. It's really that simple. I don't know how much more simple we can make it, because that is how simple it is, folks. Excuse me?
Yeah.
So
it's that simple. Yeah. It's simple, all right. It's simple. It is.
Yeah.
It's damn simple. It's actually so simple that you want to complicate it. Why?
Exactly.
Why complicate it?
Exactly.
It might be too simple. You're right. It's too simple for us to understand.
It's not easy, folks. It's not easy. It is simple.
It is too simple. It's not easy.
That's the problem. We have not.
It's too simple. You have to complicate
this realm of matter, the sciences and so on and so forth have made things so complex that we believe that we don't have access to unless we have their intelligence, right? And it's the furthest thing from the truth, because once you start spiraling in and tapping into soul, you have access, all knowledge of all creation, of all the realms and all the universes. You know, I don't care how much papers you have behind your name, or whatever, letters or whatever. And that's what we're talking about. And it's just a matter of the illusion of time that we use in this realm, because it is slow motion. That's the way I understand it. I could be all wrong, but that's the way I understand this realm. It's a slow motion. Everything is manifested through a thought pattern. Boom, it's done. And then we have to wait for this to change, because the information has been set. And then it does. It's just one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. We work with today, every day. Tomorrow never comes. It's always today. Right? So this is the beauty of trusting in your soul. You're not trusting in me or her, my wonderful wife or anything. You're trusting in your soul, because we have nothing to do with it. It's your responsibility. We can only help guide you and nurture you and support each other as we're supporting you guys. You guys are supporting us, and it's just a beautiful figure eight, a flow continuously. And that's why we're still here, because we love doing this. We love the interaction. We love the people's transformation. We love to see people take power back into themselves and not get stuck in the trap of the poor me. There's no hope. There's, you know, because we've seen people turn that around, a lot of people. And you know, it's just a matter of you know, your choice, through your free will, through your dedication, and that's it. And it'll happen.
I just want to ask if David's fasting or if he's on a hybrid. And I think Steve's fasting still. You're still going, aren't you, Steve? I know you were on 2 weeks last week.
No, I had a break. I broke at 18.
Nice.
18?
That's okay.
18 days, yeah.
Nice.
The kid, same thing, kidneys.
Okay.
Same thing. Oh,
Keep going, Steve.
debilitating this time. I mean, very debilitating.
Have you done casserole packs? You said you have, I think?
I just got everything in, so
Okay.
I'm preparing for the next fast already.
Yeah. Have you started massaging with the stick?
No, not yet.
Get on that.
Yes.
Get yourself a stick and burn it and massage it.
When I get to the next fast, I'll have everything in place.
But even start doing it now daily, and
Yeah.
then use it on some of the energy meridians of the kidneys, and also in the kidneys themselves. So it helps break up the matter, the obstructions that are actually in physical matter in the kidney. But you know, there's also the energy. So you're working on both, because you're doing it intentionally and physically. So that's why we use that. It really helped me out.
Amazing how fast it came back. I was amazed at how quick it came. I mean, it started like day 2.
Deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it went deep. It went deep.
That burn stick really helped me, because I've had kidney problems for decades. And on my first long dry, that was a lifesaver. And diving into the cold sea in Italy, that really woke me up.
I'm not going to do that. I'm channeling you on Tuesday.
You're gonna love it.
I know. I'm not actually scared. I just, you know, the cold thing, isn't it?
The cold?
Yeah, I'll just wake up. I'll be awake anyway.
Yeah,
That's nice.
the first day I went in, second day longer, third day longer, and just, you know, kept going and going. Then I was in there 15, 20 minutes. These guys are looking at me, get out, what are you doing? They're so long. In a dry, you pick it up real quick.
Yeah.
Because you're tapping into the higher realms, and you can make that work for you. Like cold showers, I always end with cold, but it's just not the same as diving into a cold sea or cold lake.
See, yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, the energy is different.
Completely different.
Yeah, I think it has to do with energy. It's different. It's different. I mean, I don't mind jumping a cold, freezing lake. I mean, we did once in February here, and it was freezing. You could not do it. No, you could not do it. He was dry fasting. I think I was alone. Yeah,
No, I was walking in, my feet went numb.
yeah, you were like.
I go, I don't know what's going on, because in Italy I was just driving in off the rock. No way to give up. You're in.
Surrender.
Once you are in, I don't know,
Yeah.
a swimming pool.
Yeah, yeah, very cold. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm doing my prayers around it.
I remember Marin telling me the story about he was in somewhere in the mountains, I think, or somewhere in Germany. And they had a pool, and it was cold in the winter. And he's going, I want to go swimming. They thought he was crazy, like, really. And he goes, no, I want to go in the pool. And he was going in, and they couldn't believe it. He loves the cold. He uses no heat in the winter. He loves the cold.
Cold. Mm.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wow.
Detoxing deeply, right? Like after 5 years of chemo, you can imagine his body's on fire. You know?
4 years, I think it was. But anyway,
yeah,
it's a long time.
Yeah. No lymphatic system. God knows what's happening in his body, you know? I mean, I'm sure he regenerated by now. His body is regenerated. Who knows?
Oh, of course. I mean, that's logical, isn't it? Like, if you look at people that build muscles, they tear down the muscle, then it just rebuilds. It's regenerating. Yeah. That's what we're doing, aren't we? Aren't we just tearing everything down and then we regenerate?
I mean, did you guys? I'm sure. I don't know if you guys heard, but the Breatharian Victor Triviano. We watched this video maybe 3 years ago, I think. And basically, he did 1 year of liquid before he completely stopped the liquid, like what was on air only. And he said once he stopped the liquid, his teeth fell off, right? And and after 7 months of extreme pain, his teeth came back. So regeneration. I mean, like that's a third set of teeth. That's never heard
a no thing.
Yeah. So if he can get a new set of teeth, I mean, I'm sure the body can heal a lot of other things. This is bones. This is bones.
And his eyes completely restored. He had glasses his whole life.
Yeah, and I think he had an accident where he fell from paragliding.
Yeah.
And he was in the hospital, and the doctor said, "You will never be able to walk again." He was breatharian at that time, and he is completely fine. He is completely fine.
Yeah, he just asked them to look after him, not do any. He didn't want to accept any treatments. Completely restored himself. Yeah. Some spinal injuries.
Amazing guy. Amazing, beautiful.
So, people blah, blah, blah. We have to eat. We got a digestive system. We got teeth. That's your reality.
You know what I say? If one person can do it, everybody can. This is how I see life. If somebody was able to achieve something, I can achieve. And you can achieve it, and everybody can achieve. But you just have to be like, you have the potential, but you just want to build your skills,
Is it going to happen for most of us? Most likely not, but we can do it part-time.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you want to do it, you can do it. This is the thing, like it's if I'm saying if somebody can do it, everybody can do it. You don't have to do it. But I'm just saying your potential. And I love to live the best way I can ever live. Why not? Why settle for less? Just
exactly. Yeah. Why settle for less? Yeah, exactly. You can have whatever you want.
Here's David. I'm eating 4 days a week, enjoying the training of the back and forth fasting at the moment. Awesome, David. Awesome. Keep going. Nice. Live it and love it. This is what it's about. 6-7 days a week eating.
I'm sure you are learning a lot of things, David, by doing this, by doing 3 days a week of fasting and eating, and you can see the difference. And I'm sure slowly you're going to make more transformations because you don't want to settle for less again. You can do better. And
I still have this thing going. I don't know if you guys can actually feel anything.
Yeah.
If you really tap in, you can. I have a video about it. And it's just, I'm getting high off it.
I can feel heat. I can feel a heat. I can feel something. Just, I'm curious about Madison. Madison, sweetheart, are you MFS now at the moment? What are you up to? What do you want to do? Like, tell me a little bit about. I don't know much about you.
That's a loaded question.
It is. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. I'm not fasting. I'm sort of on the outskirts still. I came here through Rana and have a whole past of eating disorders and eating issues and feeling very mentally and emotionally chained to food, as so many of us are. And definitely have like a period in my past of major, like much more major eating disorder issues, which I kind of think about now as being in my past, but still sort of carrying the chains of it and feeling it in my day-to-day life. And I'm kind of getting sick of dragging those chains around. So I'm definitely at a point where I feel like I need a change, like some kind of shift has to happen. I just can't take this anymore. And so I like my journey with food is I found out I was like gluten intolerant, like so many people. And then I went off gluten, then I went off dairy, then went vegetarian, then went vegan, and then I was raw vegan for a while, and never like the first detox, whatever, the first 6 months of raw vegan, I've never felt so good in my life. I felt like my skin was better, my sleep was better, but I needed less sleep. My mood was better. All my digestive issues that I've had my whole life disappeared. All my cravings were gone. My energy was through the roof. I was like sleeping 4 hours, but running 20 kilometers a day. Like it was like heaven. It was like miraculous. And then after that initial detox, I totally fell off the wagon, started a challenging program at school, and just totally fell off and started succumbing to cravings again. And now I'm trying to find some kind of balance between raw vegan and I don't know, like I'm feeling pretty scattered and lost, and needing some kind of regimen. So my ears were perked up when you guys were talking about how much this works is like having, a system and something to stick to. And I've been peppering Rana with questions about how to make this work and how to start, and she's just been a wealth of knowledge as always. So I'm here to learn, and I know me. I've been listening the whole time. It's Gino just says is all the answers are right in front of you, and it's very simple, and I fully understand that. I think it's just a little bit of courage to actually start. Yeah.
The eating disorder. Anybody who eats has a disorder. It's that's the way I look at it now. If we eat physical foods, we have a disorder.
Some people more than others, emotionally.
Like
me, for example, more than you.
Yeah, but I had I was a major eater from growing up.
Yeah.
So, we have to deal with that stuff. And it's never going to go away. You're going to always have to work with it because it's programmed in us. But you can control it and thrive. And fasting is the way to reset always. So if you have a fasting lifestyle, you're continuously resetting daily, weekly, monthly, season change. And then you're throwing longwoods in here and there. And that's the beauty. And that's the way we live and love it. It's that simple. We never ever want to focus on going back to eating more than 5 days a week. That's really where we're at now. 5 days a week should be the absolute maximum in your goal. Like if somebody has to start on only, fasting 1 day a week, okay, but soon, within a month or so or 3, get to 2 days a week at least.
Yeah, 1 day liquid, 1 day dry.
Yeah. So that's really the whole lifestyle thing that we focus on is living and loving that lifestyle of never ever going back to more than 5 days a week eating. And then as time goes on, the months and the years, we can go less and less and less days of eating over that time to wherever you want to go.
Because true satisfaction is not with food, you will find. It's definitely with
it's an illusion that you're going to be satisfied with any type of food.
It's nothing but pleasure, and use it for that. Food is pleasure, nothing more, nothing less, right, Ranjit?
it feels like it's pleasure because it's instant gratification, right? But then when you're out and like you said, an hour ago, when you're out in nature, you're actually experiencing the energy and you're living the energy and you're living and you're in that, then that's true pleasure. That's true feeling, right? But the food, and it's absolutely instant gratification. It's nothing more than that, really, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
I think sometimes what is the if you can figure out what is the gratification that you're seeking, if you know exactly what that gratification is. I had a big thing with rejection, and I was told I was actually rejecting the soul, because then the rejection would show up everywhere else in my external life. So I was seeking to feel that rejection, to feel that comfort, to feel that love, where in actual fact, it's already within me. And soul said to me that you will see it everywhere in your external life until you come to me. And that's the only gratification in my experience that I know today is the only way. The other thing too, Madison, is your why. Is like, why is it that you want to, say, delve into master fast, for example, or go into some form of system, even if it's a 30-day, 40-day. I reckon you've got 40 days in you. But like, why is it that you really, really want to do that? When you figure out your why, then you set the intention. And then when you set the intention, the powerful force of intention, you're taking action, the motion already starts putting the wheels go into motion. And sometimes that wheel goes really, really fast. And then you've got to get in and sit in the ride of that wheel. If you try and pull the brakes on it, then that's when you're going to keep getting stuck, keep going back, keep going and get that gratification, as you know. I mean, you know this, but you've just got to really go back to basics and think, why? Like, I think, like I even did it. I remember I said, why am I getting this pull? Why is this organic pull so strong? So basically, it was just to be with the God. Is to have that that's all it is. Like, for me, other people can be different. A lot of people do it for health reasons. And if it is that's really good, because it might be I want to heal my body. But, the thing is, you are already whole and healed anyway. So it's just a matter of receiving that. So that's already there. So it's just that. So if it's gratification of feeling those high expansion emotions, then you just got to go, why do I want to feel loved? What is it? Why? What? And soul's the only thing that gives you the full satisfaction, as Rana said before. It is the only thing that gives you full fulfillment. You can go to food, you can go to parties, you can do whatever, read books. Like, I'm just off books at the moment because there's no satisfaction in books for me. It's a guidance, a little bit. I don't even read any spiritual texts anymore. I just that's all say the same thing anyway. And the soul tells you anyway, because the soul told me not to go there. Like, so it's all internal. That what Brana and Gino talk about. But when you know that, like when you find a way within yourself, because I'm talking to your mind, hopefully I'm tapping into your soul. But when you find a way, then you got it. You're in, and and there's nothing that will stop you. I don't know if that helped.
I got goosebumps. I think it helped.
Oh, good. I mean, it's gone to your soul.
Thank you.
That gratification that we believe, yes, we can enjoy the taste, okay, physical taste, but through the physical aroma, and the other senses, and tapping into the soul of it, you can get the joy without the obstructiveness of the physical foods. What I mean is, why we're eating is, number one, to numb something out, because it's an obstruction. No matter what food it is, just different levels. Even fruit, as we say, some of you will tell you, will have an experience. Even fruit obstructs, but very, very slightly compared to anything else. So what are we doing? Why are we doing it? People, they feel need to eat 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 calories of fruit a day. What? I can't, even if I try, I couldn't do that. So why is that need there? There's an emotional thing that we're hanging on to that we're not ready to release. And that's really what's behind it all. And that's the reason why we eat physical food. So I like the saying is, you know, we love to eat, but we love fasting way more, because fasting puts you in those limitless realms of bliss. Food will never ever do that. It's impossible. Food's not going to put you in a bliss state. Yeah, you can, you know, love the taste and everything. And you swallow it and it's over. And then you got to deal with the physicality of it, right? But when you're in the fasting states, how deep does the rabbit hole go, Ranji? There's no end. It's limitless, right? It's limitless. How far do you want to go? Keep going and keep going and keep going. And the beauty is the universes keep expanding and keep multiplying. You know, creation keeps creating. So there's no end. There's no end. And where do you want to go with this? And that's what we're talking about. All the food stuff and everything, we dabble in and we share, because yeah, this is part of, you know, why we're in this realm, to experience all that, and let's enjoy it and let's share it. But that's not where the focus is. It's just a little bit of fun that we're doing and experience the realm of matter and eating. But the other realms are limitless bliss, really. Once you get into those realms, you'll understand what we're talking about. And they're accessible to everybody. And that's the beauty. It's just a matter of deciding to live it and love it, and go at the pace that you can live it and love it. If you're going at a pace where you're not enjoying it, you're starting to point fingers, you're blaming, you're looking for things that are missing nutritionally wise, and so you're not living and loving it. And you just need to fast more, but at a slower pace. And that's part of the process that we come to the understanding through the decades, because mastery is decades of work. Of work, not in the sense that the grind or whatever, but work in the sense of doing the thing you love to do. It's so masters do not become masters because they don't like to do it. They become masters because they love what they're doing. So I think work is not the proper word to use, but devotion and commitment. We devote and commit, and we love it, and we become a master at living and loving it, and that's what we're talking about. So I hope for a few mumbled words, you know, can help somebody out, because I didn't have this stuff back then. I don't know Harriet's book, but there's a lot of information in that book. If once you read through Masterfast and you go back to Arnold Harriet, it'll come more clear to you, all these things. But what's in that book took me decades to come to the realization of experiencing it. I was reading it many times, it didn't come to me. And then all of a sudden, oh, now I know what he meant 15, 20 years later, right? And this is what we're seeing with Masterfast. You know, people are experiencing it and then they start understanding. Because by just reading and watching and listening, it doesn't all filter through for whatever reason. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's addition. It's addition. That less is more is so powerful. It's always adding, and we've got so much information at our fingertips.
Yeah.
Like it bugs me. Like someone sends me something, I get a bit annoyed sometimes.
Yeah.
Delete. That's all you can do is delete.
When
Until you're guided to go there and read it or
when I
something.
see these posts and comments of addition, I'm going, okay, how can we elevate that soul?
I had a thought for me, like this conversation, it's coming full circle, because thinking about, like Ranjit said, like what is your why and what's fueling this, right? And a lot of people who develop issues with food, it comes from people often ask if there's some kind of trauma in your life, or if there was some kind of trauma that triggered everything. And I don't have anything like that, so I could never figure out why I had all these issues with food. But it's had an epiphany recently that I'm someone who has a lot of physical energy, like a lot of energy all the time. And I find that especially when it's warm, and I'm in Canada as well, where it's cold half the time. So when it's nice out and I'm outside, I could hike for 12 hours of the day and work in the garden and get dirty and run around and be on my bicycle. And I'm doing all those things, and I feel like I'm like, my energy is just like way up here. Food is the last thing on my mind. And I have some physical energy that I have to be expelling it all the time like that. But in the winter time, when I'm stuck in this apartment, or I can't go running around outside and I can't go working in the garden, I can't do all those things, I sit around here, but I still have all that physical energy, and I need to feel something. So I think that I eat, right? And like, as an example, I was just spent 10 days down in Utah, hiking in the mountains there and in the canyons, and it was just spectacular. But I would hike like between 15 and 30 kilometers a day.
Wow.
And like really working my body and the heat and the elevation and everything. And I didn't care for food at all. Because as soon as you're out, like we said, in the last hour, as soon as you're out in nature and you're using your body the way that it's supposed to be used, I think you kind of break those ties. I don't know, sorry, I'm not being very eloquent, but it was just a big epiphany for me about realizing that they tell you, the more active you are, make sure you're eating more. And if you're hiking, make sure you take all this extra food with you and everything. But as soon as I feel like I'm really using my body the way it's supposed to be used, you don't feel the same mental ties to food anymore. And it's in fact when you're sitting around, like my job right now, I'm sitting at a desk all day, and half the time or more than half the time my mind is on food, because we're not meant to be sitting at that desk, right?
Yeah, movement is crucial, is why we keep saying, I've never seen any fasting regime anywhere tell people to move. And we were the first that I've seen, because I was in the belief that we had to rest too when you have to when you fast, right? And I found the opposite through experimenting, especially when I started getting to dry fasting. If you just lie there, you're not going to have a good experience. When you start moving, even if you have to drag yourself out of your bed and you start moving, you're going to see your energy switch and start coming on and turning online, because it's just that our body is in a stagnant state and it's not flowing on its own plasmatically, meaning through field interaction. We need physical movement to get the lymph, which is our energy system, to move. And once it starts moving, your energy starts going up. The time for rest, to sleep, there's going to be days where, overall you're going to sleep less, but there's going to be some days that your body wants more sleep and you allow that to happen. Or you need to take a nap during the day and you allow that to happen. But the energy wise, we keep moving. We be prudent about things. If the body needs that little bit extra rest, we take it. But we continuously allow the body to move and move and move and move. And no matter how little it is, we need to move it. Whether it's just slight movement on a rebounder, just get something happening to move. A little bit of yoga, a little bit of stretching, a brisk walk, a light jog, a bicycle ride, a swim, climb a tree, climb a mountain, whatever. Climbing mountains when you're fasting. If you haven't been fasting for years and you don't have experience in fasting, and some people are prone to lightheadedness and dizziness, and would not be recommended. For somebody I remember asking me, was a roofer working on roofs. As a new faster, no, I wouldn't recommend that. No. You have to do it really slow, and you have to tie yourself up, make sure that you're not going to fall off the roof, and just a little bit at a time, because you just don't know when somebody goes into a fast if they're going to have that. It could happen to anybody. I started off with a lot of dizziness and lightheadedness in my early years of fasting, and occasionally I'll get a little bit, and and then I just use my pressure point, everything comes to and it's gone. Whereas in the past, it could be for some hours or a day that it would come through. So we have to be prudent as new fasters, especially. And when you're getting up from chairs or from your bed, get up slowly, make sure your horizon's all correct before you start moving. And that's where people fail. They get up quickly and boom, all of a sudden they collapse. And we've had a few people crack their heads open because they're not paying attention to what we're saying. They believe, oh, everything's okay. No, you're a new faster. You don't have the experience. The understanding comes through experience. So yeah, you banged your head and there's an experience. Now you understand. But you could have avoided that because we've shared the information, you know, and that's, you know, some of us have to learn the hard way. I was one of them. But, you know, we want to avoid it. We have the information. We know what to do. We know how to do it. We don't have all the information. I mean, all the info, but boy, oh boy, we know what to do. And we know that how the magic unfolds and everything. It's just allow it to take place, and there we go. You know, here we are. So that's
I
it.
was just thinking, Madison is at work. Is there a park, or is there a nice big tree that you can go walk to at lunchtime?
I'm in like a residential area, so
Yeah.
there's not much of a park. I mean, I do go for walks, and it's not pretty really, but I walk
Yeah.
any lunch break when I can.
Is there a big tree or something around, like an oak tree or something close to you that you
Well,
could
there's
walk
lots of trees, I'm sure. And if I was doing specifically looking for specific trees,
Okay.
I'm absolutely sure I could
Yeah,
find
okay.
them.
Okay, do this. See if you can do this. It's just an idea. I don't know why it come through. But find a tree that you kind of feel attracted to
Okay.
that's close by where you can walk, and go to it every day and start having an intimate relationship with that tree. Like even like I do things where I go find the oldest tree and I go hug it. I don't care. Or do your push-ups at it. You know, do some push-ups on the tree or anything like that. It's just something to get you out of the office. I know what you mean. I've been in corporate land, and you get caught up in their lunchtime things and all this stuff that go on, especially if you're going to be fasting or something. It just gives you a reason to say, look, I go for my walks at lunchtime, but you're going to go have a soul connection with a tree.
Yeah.
It just gets you out.
Well,
Yeah,
something
I don't know. Just an idea.
I am familiar with because a good friend of mine does a lot of energy work, and she said, "Okay, we're gonna go show you this thing with the tree." And I was sort of skeptical, so we went to this tree, and she had me not hug it this way,
Yeah.
but she said, put your back against the tree, and then you have your hand. Sorry, I'm sitting in the dark now. You have your hands, like your palms against the tree, and it's this really big tree. And she said, "Okay, now lean back against it and put your palms on the tree and close your eyes." And I was skeptical. What am I doing here leaning against this tree? But okay, fine. And so I did, and I had my eyes closed and trying to just focus on my breathing as if you were meditating. And all of a sudden, I felt all the energy of the tree coming through my palms. And I don't know how long we stayed there for, but it was the energy of the tree coming through me was so powerful that I thought I was going to pass out. And I had to open my eyes and rip myself away from the tree because I was like, my breathing was intense and everything, and I was just flabbergasted, and I didn't know that at the time the trees could hold that much energy and you could connect that much with them. But since that day now, I've been a believer because I felt that really intense connection with this tree. I mean, it was of course a very old tree, but to feel the energy of it coming into you was very cool. So I like your idea, and I will definitely try that this week when I go back to work. Thank you.
Yeah, put your spine against it, whether you're standing or sitting, and tap into the tree. It'll give you a lot of stories.
I'll do that this week. Thank you for your suggestions.
So, my goodness, we've already passed 2 hours. Anybody else want something before we wrap up?
Does Susan want to say anything?
Hello.
Hello, Susan.
It's great to be live. I've been watching these Zooms, a lot of them, and it is just a great energy. So thank you.
Awesome. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
We're just a family, and we just chit chat and inspire each other, right? And come to some new understanding how we can help each other thrive in this kind of lifestyle, because out there's no help. There's absolutely no help. It's actually opposite. They'll all try and bring us back down. I've been at this 3 decades, and you know, some friends and relatives, what do you need? You're fasting again? You don't need to fast that much. Oh, whatever. Okay. So it's good to be able to connect with people that have the understanding that this is a lifestyle. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. And we live it and love it. And we will continue. And nothing's going to stop me. You know,
No.
we fall here and there, but we keep going. We keep going. We keep going. We keep going. It's a beautiful thing.
Nothing going to stop me either. And Steve and so many other people. Gino, we're in it together.
Yeah.
Dive in deep. It's
Like
lovely.
I had some correspondence with Rana yesterday, and I fasted 2/3 of the year already.
Awesome.
It shocked the hell out of me that it's been that long. We're about 150 days into the year, and I'm well over 100 fasting. Well, you know, all combined. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, talk about, that's powerful. That was really powerful to realize that.
Exactly. You come to realize, my goodness gracious, what a bunch of lies we've been fed that we need to eat every day.
Things are really starting to just open up.
Yeah. And the thing is, when we start in this journey, right, in the first few years, you know, sometimes, you know, you're going to go through situations where that are going to be much more challenging than when you started. And it could happen. It doesn't happen to everybody. And you really got to keep that faith and just put your head down and continue, because you know the soul knows what it's doing. So that's the key, where people,
I know all the answers are in the fast, not in the food.
right? You have that key, and some people, you know, they throw it away. They think.
I knew that the second I got here.
Yeah.
Yes,
I knew
that's
that
so
before I
true.
got here. I knew it before I got here.
Yes,
Once I found here, it's like, that's it. That's
It's
all.
so true, Steve. It's such a joy to fast, isn't it? When you know that before you got here, that's you knew already, but you just needed the guidance to, you know. And I love what you do, Steve, because you as soon as you break, you're already planning your next fast. Like you're already in this habit now, where you're already okay. It's okay. You did 17 days. Okay, I bet you're already thinking about your next fast.
Oh yeah. It's all planned out. 30 days from now, I got a project I have to finish that I can't let the kidney discomfort interfere with. So I have to get something done, and then after that, my afternoons open up. Because I only work at my job. I only work part-time. So
Awesome.
The path forward is definitely crystal clear.
That's what it takes. You have the key, and you keep using the key. We've seen people that we've handed the key to and put it down because it's just they're not ready for it, right?
No.
Right? It's okay. It's okay. They can pick it up anytime they want. But lots of transformations happens at all levels as we go through the first several years of this type of lifestyle. And they continue. They don't stop. It's just different. So we embrace it all of it. It's all part of the process. There's no realm to dwell into the deficiency mindset. That is best is to put it aside and leave it there, because it's a bunch of nonsense.
Well, I know I'm trying to purge this kidney thing, and I know it's going to fight back hard.
Yeah, that's okay. I know.
That
Steve.
is fine. I have no problem.
I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell you through the experience. So just understand that you will find resolution. It took me decades, but you will do it sooner. I can assure you, because I didn't have all the information that we have now. So what we have now, it's, you know, it does speed things up to some degree, quite a bit, and it's beautiful when it purges though. Like that purge I had in my first 12-day dry fast through the kidneys was like I could feel them opening up. It was, I don't know how to explain it, because until you feel something like that, you won't know what I'm talking about. It was just a complete release in that area of the body, and I've never felt. And after that, my goodness gracious, it was a change completely. So know that there's that ahead of you when you commit. Madison, my computer's just about to die. We'll sign off tonight and hope to see you all again soon. Thank you for everything.
Gina, have you got that ball there? Can I see it again?
Yep, it's right here.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm definitely feeling it.
It's yeah, I made this a few years back. It's some things that we had been playing around with 432 in the late 2000s. So it's probably a good what year are we in now? Probably about almost 10 years ago, we were playing with 432, and we designed this thing. And then once I started getting involved with the cache stuff, I implemented some of that stuff in here. But you know, I can feel the fields on here, and if you could feel it from where you are. It doesn't matter. There's no time space with this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome when you can do that. It's just. I remember somebody was saying, "Oh yeah, it's working," blah blah blah, and then a couple of months later, some, "Oh, it doesn't work anymore." Well, what changed?
Yeah.
It's always the same. Nothing's changed.
Actually, have this other question. I know we've got to get going, but the gentleman that did the first 108 with you, he's on the. You interviewed each other.
Right.
On your YouTube. Yeah, I think he's a band. He's a musician.
Yeah.
I think. I don't. How's he go? Did he still hear? Is your friend? Is he all right?
I haven't seen him for a few years. Yeah, so.
He was very switched on.
Yeah, at the time.
He was very at the time. Yeah, he was. Yeah, because I can understand what he's saying. Yeah. I just wondered about him. I was hoping he's okay.
Yeah, he was into cleanses and so on and clean eating for years, but he never did anything that powerful that really, brought him to a different level.
Mm.
When the emotions start coming to the surface, you start seeing everything change. But everybody has their journeys. My journey has not changed. I've been doing this 3 decades, but like we say, most people will come into this type of thing and they'll dwell in it, try, blah, 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 and then they're gone. That's what most people will do. To live it and love it, like we're doing, the few of the few of the few. And that's okay. That's what we're here for. We can't help everybody. We can only help those who choose to be helped. For the people who are looking for the handouts kind of stuff, there's many other groups for that kind of thing, right? We're not there. We've come to a different understanding, a new understanding, like I like to say, and we love what it's been able to do for people. It's just beautiful. Somebody joined us with all these letters: FCC, Y, D, C, Y. Anyway, hello, whoever you are. We'd like to know who's on board. So, where are we at? 9:20. So we'll call it a close, I guess.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Great energy as usual.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you all very much.
You're welcome. Who's dog?
Thank you, Thank you, Gino.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, and bless you, and have a fantastic rest of the weekend and week. And I'll see you on the page. Bye, Steve. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
for your presence. Bye-bye.
Good night. Let's keep that plasma love flowing.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. Ciao, ciao, guys. Thank you so much.